New developments this morning in the Harvey Weinstein sex scandal. The Directors Guild has now filed disciplinary charges against the disgraced movie mogul. In the past 2 weeks, dozens and dozens of women have accused Harvey Weinstein of sexual harassment and inappropriate behavior. The Guild released a statement noting the issue went beyond one person and urged industry insiders to break the shameful code of complicity by speaking out. The Producers Guild of America expelled Weinstein earlier this week, and we have heard so many accounts of sexual harassment relating to the Harvey Weinstein scandal. But this is beyond Hollywood. Millions of women shared their own stories of harassment with the hashtag #MeToo. It is clear this happens, and it happens a lot. So what can be done to change it? Talk radio host Dana Barrett has been asking those questions on her radio show. She often focuses on women in business. Good morning to you. Thanks for being here. Such an important issue. Yeah. Alyssa Milano sort of resurrected the #MeToo movement, and she made an interesting point. She said, we teach our children to stop, drop, and roll if you're on fire, but we don't teach our children about treating the opposite sex equally. What kind of protocols need to be put in place?
Well, I mean, you're exactly right, and there isn't really a set protocol right now. I think we all know, should something happen to you, you document, you tell someone, because all of that counts as evidence later, even though it might not feel like it if you're writing it in your journal, it counts. You know, you can go to HR, but really, you should go to a lawyer first. And so I think companies need to make clear policies. They have all-hands meetings. They have all-hands conference calls. Have the CEO come out and say, this is unacceptable behavior. Here's what you do if this happens. Follow this protocol, and this is how our company's going to handle it.
You know, we heard from a lot of these Hollywood actresses that they felt their careers were on the line here, and they were pretty cut and dry. It was clear they were being sexually assaulted or sexually harassed. Many women have, with the #MeToo hashtag, said, I'm not quite sure this line between innocent banter and sexual harassment. What's the gray area, and how do you distinguish?
Well, I think men and women are struggling with this, because are you just telling an innocent joke, or is it really not okay? I think the first thing we have to do is, if you don't feel okay about it, don't laugh along, male or female. Don't Billy Bush it, you know? Give them the stink eye. Start with that. Maybe pull somebody aside and say, hey, you know, that made me a little uncomfortable. Get some allies in your own company. Say to your friend, hey, was that over the line? I'm not sure. Get them on board to start giving that offender the stink eye. And then if it does escalate, then you go back to that protocol again.
I loved what you had also said, because you and I were chatting, that you tell someone you are uncomfortable. If they do it again, begin the documentation process. And as you mentioned, talking to a lawyer. What about men in this situation? What role do they need to take to implement change?
Listen, I think we need to keep sight of the fact that there are a lot of good men, mostly good men, out in the workplace who don't want this happening to their colleagues, let alone their daughters or their wives. So again, start by not laughing at the jokes. Start by helping to create a culture where that's unacceptable. I mean, listen, if a guy walked into a boardroom and took his pants off, we'd all give him the stink eye. So we should be doing that if he's making these kind of comments.
And also having conversations with your children. You know, I think for parents sitting at home, the idea of sending them into the real world, into workplaces where you know that this happens, you have to have a conversation with your kids that this is out there, and you got to speak up for yourself. Dana Barrett, such great tips. Thank you so much for being with us. An important conversation indeed.